But then comes the attribute of Yesod. The attribute of Yesod is the beginning of actually connecting with the other person. A teacher, for example, who has charisma, who connects with his students, like he loves his students, or a parent. There's a difference between a stranger teaching your child or a parent teaching a child. You love your child, so you're connecting with them personally. That personal connection. And that's the secret for conveying and communicating what you're trying to teach them. It all matters in that personal connection. You can have a teacher who's brilliant, but he's lacking charisma. He doesn't know how to connect to his students. He doesn't know how to reach them. Yesod is the connection, to reach them personally, that personal connection. So this is already a sound which is shama, which you can hear. The point of the cymbal, it's not musical per se, but it makes such a loud noise that you make sure you're going to hear it. I got it. I hear you. You make a noise to make a sound, to make shama, to make sure that it's heard far and loud and clear, far and wide. So that represents the attribute of Yesod, where Hashem starts connecting with us in a personal way. And then, that represents the actual receiving. When we receive receive the divine light. And then he concludes, Keil HaNeshama, Hallelukah. So we have 10 times Hallelu, representing the 10 Sfirot. And when the Jew would bring to the temple, would bring the Bikurim, the first fruits of the 7 fruits that Israel is blessed on. We're going to this Thursday's Tu B'Shvat. We're going to mark and we're going to eat the fruits that Israel is blessed with. So they would say 2 of the verses of this psalm, where they would enter the Temple Mount, and then when they would enter into the courtyard. Say, praise Hashem, and Keil HaNeshama, Hallelukah. From here we also learn that you have to praise Hashem for any benefit that you have from this world, including from a pleasant aroma, which is a benefit that only the neshama benefits from. The body doesn't really benefit from a pleasant aroma. It's a neshama. It's a very spiritual type of pleasure. From a good smell, a good aroma, spices. It revives your soul. It doesn't feed you. Your body doesn't get anything from it. If you're hungry, it's not going to take away your hunger, but it feeds your soul. It revives your soul. Gives you a life. So, Keil HaNeshama, Hallelukah. But Keil HaNeshama, the rabbis say, why is neshama called neshama? It comes from the word, in Hebrew, neshima, to breathe. That really you have to praise Hashem for every breath that we take. And this is the last verse in the entire book of Psalms. The last verse of this half of this part of davening. What's the significance of breath, of breathing? Why do we breathe in and we breathe out? Every moment we breathe in and we breathe out. You're taking in fresh oxygen, and then it's sent to the blood to oxygenate the blood, which then gives life to the cells. And then the blood, you expel the carbon dioxide. Now it's the waste of this, the carbon dioxide, which you have to expel, and now you have to breathe again. So on a deeper level, when you breathe in and you breathe out, it's because your neshama wants to leave your body. You take in the breath of life, and then you expel the breath of life. The neshama wants to leave the body. Because the neshama, your soul, is a piece of God, a piece of Hashem. It wants to cling, it wants to connect with Hashem. It doesn't want to be trapped in the physical body, in the material, coarse, crass, physical body. So every moment, the neshama, you breathe in and you breathe out. The neshama returns. Where does life come from? Life is a divine miracle. All the scientists in the world can create the life of a firefly. Life that you have from within, life is divine, life is godly. We're not a machine. The soul is not a motor, is not an engine. We are alive. 37 trillion cells come alive. I don't know where the body ends, the soul begins. Life it's godly. Because life is godly, the life wants to go back to God. It doesn't want to be separated and apart in the body. So the neshama is constantly breathing out, and then it returns back to the body. You breathe in, and then you breathe out. You want to escape the body. And this goes on our entire life. For 120 years, we don't stop breathing, thank God, for a moment. It's constantly back and forth, breathing in and breathing out. Because the only way that the neshama could give life to the body, precisely because it's godly, because it's connected to godliness. But in order for the neshama to give life to the body, it has to enclose itself into the body. It's in our body. The body, it doesn't take a break. The soul can't just undress itself from the body. You know what? Give me an hour. I need a vacation. I'll come back in an hour. You come back for a minute, you're lifeless, you're a corpse. For the whole life, your soul is trapped, your neshama is trapped in your body. It's not going anywhere. Because Hashem wants it to enliven the body, all 248 limbs, 365 veins. But in order for the neshama to be able to do that, the neshama has to be connected to its source. So the neshama has to constantly want to go back to its source, but then it remembers that Hashem needs the neshama to be in the body. When the neshama sees that Hashem himself is constantly in this world, even though Hashem transcends the world. And so that's the nature of life. Nature of life is back and forth. It's breathing in and breathing out. It's like the pulsating. It's back, constant, the beat of life it's back and forth and back and forth. That's the dance of life. And that's the only way that life can really happen. Because the neshama remains connected. Because the neshama is constantly yearning to go out and to leave the body. And then the neshama constantly is returning back to the body. And this dance goes on every moment of our life. And it's precisely because of this dance, so the neshama is paradoxical. On one hand, it remains connected to Hashem, that's beyond this world. And on the other hand, it fulfills its divine mission to be in the body and to sustain the body and to give life and energize the body. And that's the story of the Jew. That's our story. This is the conclusion of the whole book of Psalms. Keil HaNeshama, this is the story of our life. A Jew has to bring godliness into this world. We have a mission. Every one of us is an agent of Hashem and Hashem's ambassador. We are here to bring light and godliness and godly vitality into this world. So we have to be in this world. We have to engage in the world. We're human. We have our feet firmly planted in this world. We do business. We eat. We drink. We sleep. We're involved in this world. But in order for us to be able to bring light into this world, we can't be part of this world. It's because we're godly, because we're the outsiders, that's why we can illuminate this world, we can bring light into this world, we can elevate this world, we can transform this world. So it's a paradox. How do we do this? We're in this world, and yet we're part of this world, and we're not part of this world. But it's this dance, it's the beat of life, this pulse, this breathing in and breathing out. On one hand, we're constantly yearning to connect with Hashem. On the other hand, we remind ourselves, what does Hashem need us for? What does Hashem want us for? He needs us to be in this world. That's why Shabbos is the highlight of our week. It's the only day of the week that has a name. Everything else is just counting down to the ultimate, the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day of the week. We don't have any name for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday in Hebrew. It's just the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7-day Shabbos. That's the highlight. Not like the rest of the world, that the highlight of the week is Monday when you go back to the office. And Shabbos is just a time to relax, R&R. To us, Shabbos is, when we live it up, Shabbos is what we live for. Everything else is just a means to an end. But on the other hand, 6 days a week we work. You know, Lyndon Johnson once asked the American ambassador to France. He asked him, where do you live? He says, I live in Paris, I live in France. He immediately fired him. He says, no, you're no longer our ambassador. You don't live in France. You live in the United States of America. You're an American. You're representing America. July 4th, you're the only home in Paris that carries an American flag, waves an American flag. You happen to be in France as our ambassador, as our agent, representing us. The moment you think you live in France, you're French. You don't represent us anymore. Shabbos reminds us we don't live here. We're visiting. We're here on a mission. We're manning the embassy. We're representing Hashem. Every one of us has an embassy, a different part of the world that was given to us to elevate and to transform. Where do you live? I live Shabbos. That's where I live. I'm connected with Hashem. A day of Hashem, a day for Hashem, when I can learn and pray and connect with my people and my community and my family and connect with Hashem. That's where I live. This is what I do. This is who I am. So it's that constant back and forth, breathing in and breathing out, by constantly yearning. And every day we have a taste of Shabbos, which is in davening. That's what davening is. Davening is a miniature Shabbos. And so we start the day with Shabbos, by connecting with Hashem. When you connect with Hashem, and then you're not flying the coop, you're not escaping, then we remember, what does Hashem need me for? Hashem needs me in this world. I go back into this world. It's a beautiful story of the Alter Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad movement. When he came to Mizrich, Rabbi Dov Ber set him up with his only son, his only child, Avram the angel, to learn. And it was a two-way street. The Alter Rebbe would teach Rabbi Avram the revealed part of the Torah, and Rabbi Avram would teach the Alter Rebbe the secrets, the mystical part of the Torah. Because he was a master, the Alter Rebbe was a master of the revealed part of the Torah, and Rabbi Avram, the angel, was a master of Chassidus, of the secrets of the Torah. The Alter Rebbe would actually cheat. They had a set amount of time for each lesson. So when it came to the time that the Avram, the angel, taught the Alter Rebbe the mystical part of the Torah, he would turn the clock back. Avram was such a mystic, he didn't notice. So he would increase the time. He says, and those were the best times, the Alter Rebbe says. Something that's stolen, there's something sweet about when something is stolen. Not, God forbid, to steal someone's money, but he stole time. He stole a few extra minutes. You should be able to have an extra lesson in studying the secrets of the Torah. One time, they delved very deeply into the mystical, into the secrets of the Torah, and they had this profound mystical experience. And the Alter Rebbe felt that they were about to expire. Their souls were about to expire, literally. Like in Nadav and Avihu in the Bible, their souls expired on the day of the dedication of the tabernacle. So the Alter Rebbe immediately jumped out. They were in a circle. Jumped out, took a bagel, smeared it with butter, and he ate the bagel. And he saved his life and the life of Rabbi Avram the angel. Avram says, after during such a mystical experience, you're eating bagel and butter? It was like, not just I'm eating a bagel, a delicious bagel, a hot bagel with butter. The Alter Rebbe told him, I saw that we're about to expire. So I quickly had to do something to keep us grounded in this world. So I immediately grabbed the bagel to keep us in this world. So, in other words, this is what characterizes the neshama. This is what's unique to the neshama. And that's why it's such a stable relationship, a healthy relationship, the neshama and the body. And that's what's unique to the neshama of the Jew, the neshama. Because otherwise, what happens is, you can have spirituality to an extreme, and you can have physicality to an extreme. It's one exclusive to the other. There are some people, when they go spiritual, it's to an extreme. They no longer have anything to do with this world. Tune in, tune out, go on a mountaintop, divorce yourself from this world, divorce yourself from materialism. If I'm spiritual, I'm all in. Or, on the other hand, if I'm materialist, I'm all in. I'm a rank materialist. This is 100%. Whatever I do, I'm doing 100%. But it's only in the world of mending, in the world of the 10 sfirot, that the neshama is a reflection of the 10 sfirot, divine sfirot that we just mentioned in the psalm, the 10 Hallelu, which is referring to the 10 divine emanations of Hashem. And the neshama is comprised of these 10 divine emanations, is a reflection of these 10. In the divine emanation, in the world of mending, here you have perfect balance between the light and the vessel, the neshama and the body. That it's not a contradiction. Not only isn't it a contradiction, that they're the opposites. The body is coarse, crass, materialistic, pulling me downward, the force of gravity. The neshama is godly, is divine, is spiritual, is mystical. All it's interested in is in noble and spiritual and refined things. But how do they live together? How do you have the neshama living together with the body, and the neshama is animating the body, and it's a healthy relationship? That's through breathing. That's what breathing represents. The neshama is constantly going back and forth, back and forth. It wants to connect with Hashem. It's yearning for Hashem. So therefore the neshama is never defined by its environment, by the material. The neshama always remembers that I am a godly being in this world having human experiences. But I'm essentially at the core and the essence, I'm godly. That's who I am, that's what my life is, that's what I yearn for, that's what I strive for. But Hashem sent me on a mission. He needs me to be engaged in the body, fully engaged, to elevate, transform, bring a little light, a little goodness. So it's this constant back and forth. That interaction, body and the soul, could work harmoniously together. The body is elevated, the soul animates the body and brings life to the body. So this phrase, Keil HaNeshama, that every neshama and every breath you praise Hashem, really captures the essence of what the whole Tillim is all about, this praising Hashem, that we are a reflection. Praising is because we're yearning to connect with Hashem. We're singing Hashem's praises because we're yearning. We're yearning for something. We're pining. We're yearning for something that's beyond us. We want to connect to something that's greater than us. We can see beyond the tip of our own nose. We realize that there's Hashem and the wonder of Hashem and Hashem's greatness and all different aspects of Hashem. And then play the instruments and we bring it back down to our life, to our personal life. But then there's another major point here. Breathing. Do you ever get bored of breathing? How much can you breathe already? Enough already. You've been doing it for years and decades. You never stop for a moment. Genugshen. Right. Oh, it's the most exciting thing in the world. To breathe every moment is the most exciting thing. You know, core things you never get bored of. Why do people need constant vacations, constant distractions? 24/7 vacations, constant distractions. They can't deal with reality, so you need a constant vacation, distraction from reality. To numb your mind, numb your brain, mindless activities, vegetate, drink yourself into a stupor. But if you are in touch with your core self, with core things, I don't need any distractions. Like breathing. It's the most exciting thing in the world. It never grows bored. I never get bored with it. It's exciting. After 120 years, it's just as exciting as it was 120 years ago. So Hashem, our connection to Hashem has to become so natural. When you finish the whole book of Psalms, when you finish this part of the Pesukei Dezimra, you reach a point where your connection to Hashem becomes so natural and so real, like the act of breathing. It's not something that's imposed upon you, it's religion, it's mysticism, it's otherworldly, it's angels are flying. It's so real. It's my core, it's my essence. Hashem, I breathe Hashem. This is my being. This is who I am. Godliness is who I am. It's the air, it's the breath. You can't survive for a moment without breathing, without fresh air, without having breathable air. So my whole environment has to be godly. It's not enough that I'm doing something Jewish, I'm speaking Jewish, even thinking Jewish. My whole environment is Jewish. My whole being is Jewish. My whole being is godly. My whole environment is a godly environment. The air that I breathe, that's all around me, is healthy air. It's healthy environment that has godly values and godly truths. That's the ultimate praise. We can praise Hashem. When we do Hashem's will, that is the ultimate praise. And when we do Hashem's will willingly, because this becomes the most natural thing in the world for me to be Jewish and to act Jewish and to think Jewish. This is who I am. It's me. It's the air that I'm breathing. It's the act of breathing. Every moment of my life, I'm connected. Whatever I do, I'm connected with Hashem. This is the ultimate will of Hashem. This is the ultimate praise. We said earlier that the fire is praising Hashem, and the hail is praising Hashem, and the snow is praising Hashem. What do you mean? Snow doesn't praise, and fire, it's inanimate. But it means it's doing the will of Hashem. When you do the will of Hashem, that's the ultimate of praise. Everything in this world, all the forces of nature are doing exactly Hashem's will. So the ultimate praise is when we do Hashem's will. When we fulfill Hashem's will, that's the ultimate praise. So when our Judaism becomes so much part of us, it becomes our essence. This is the air that we breathe, and therefore naturally we do the will of Hashem. This is the ultimate praise.
Doesn't it also relate to the fact that the air we breathe, not only is it the air we breathe, but it's also that the air that Hashem breathed into us to give us life?
Yes. But just like you have physical pollution, you have physical pollution that actually makes it hard for us to breathe, or if you breathe the air, you're just going to get very sick. Also, you have spiritual pollution. When you live in an environment where the whole environment is filled with poisonous or toxic ideas, distorted ideas. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, when he came to America in 1940, he had a whole campaign. He started a whole campaign. And you joined voluntarily. The campaign was that people should take upon themselves, when they walk down the street, they should commit to memory Mishnayot by heart, Tehillim, Tanya. And when you walk down the street, they should say, wherever it's permissible, some places in New York you're not allowed to say words of Torah, but where it's permissible, say it, if not think it, say words of Torah, because words of Torah have the ability to clean up the air, to get rid of the pollution. Just like you have today, you have systems to clean up pollution. They're coming up with systems to clean the air. How do you clean the air spiritually? When you're living in a community that has crooked ideas, distorted ideas, toxic ideas, dangerous ideas, perceptions of reality which is so unhealthy, and that it could lead to illness, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even physically, ultimately. How do you clean up that air? He says, by saying words of Torah while you're walking to the subway or walking in the street to your next business meeting. You say words of Torah, commit words of Torah to memory, and you can say it by heart. Your lips can move. When the Rebbe would walk down the street, you would see his lips were moving. He was saying words of Torah by heart. So that's how you clean up the air. So then the air around you becomes, and you can walk into some homes. You walk into some homes, you can just feel it. It's spiritual, but you can feel it. Not only is the house physically clean, sparkling, but like spiritually, it's like something inspiring, uplifting. The atmosphere is a healthy atmosphere. It's a loving atmosphere. It's a healthy atmosphere with good, wholesome ideas and wholesome approach to life. So it's important to create that atmosphere, that air. So the air that we breathe is not polluted air. We're breathing healthy air. So a lot of it depends on us, especially when we're living in an environment that's so toxic, not just physically toxic, but spiritually toxic. So we have to make sure that the neshama, the neshima, the air that we're breathing in healthy air. Next time we meet, we'll learn the next paragraph. Baruch Hashem, Lo Olam Amen.